Wilder Show podcast. I'm Scott. Look, it's Lauren.
I'm here. You said something about the ghost of me last time. You made it sound like I was dead.
At the very end. I just said the ghost, like the missing.
You thought I wouldn't listen.
No, the missing Lauren. But no, not ghost. So you're back. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
So Scott and Lauren on the Wilder Show podcast. Instagram, go to Instagram, search Wilder Show Pod. If you want to send us an email, just email to podcast@wildershow.com. The Wilder Show podcast, with rarest of exceptions, drops Tuesdays and Fridays at 6 a.m. Central Time or before on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. So like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. And we thank you for that. So what did you do? I looked over. See, people don't, let me turn to the fourth wall here. You may not believe this. We don't talk unless we're in the studio.
Unless there's a microphone in front of our faces.
So I come in here and I'm all ready to go. And I say, I'm Scott, and that's, whoa.
There's a little Post-it note on the microphone that says, out of office.
See ya, buddy. Mm-hmm. What'd you do, if you want to tell?
Sure. I went to, I have a son who lives in the Denver suburbs.
Yeah.
And I went to visit. Went to visit and had a great time and did a little hiking and a little avoiding the heat there because I think it was warmer in Denver for at least one or two of the days that I was gone than it was here, which is not usually the case when you go someplace in Colorado.
Right.
But it was a lovely time was had by all, and I'm back here behind the microphone.
All right. Well, Chuck, thanks for returning her back here to her home place. Let's dive in. Where should we begin? Let's start with Kamala Harris.
Sure.
She has decided, it turns out, not to run for governor of California. And that's not just because she probably wouldn't win. It is because I think she wants to leave open the window to run for the presidency in 2028. Mm-hmm. And let me just say, I don't want to say I pray, that sort of diminishes prayer, but I really hope that she does. I really want her to.
You want her to run?
I do. Because I think it would be difficult for that side to tell her no. Mm-hmm. Because she is a woman. Yeah. And because she is, though not black, a woman of color.
Right.
At least as we currently define persons of color. Mm-hmm. She has a book. It's called 112 Days or something. I mean, it really is 114 or something. Right. It is the number of days that was her run.
Her campaign, basically?
Campaign. Yeah. It was the number of days. Mm-hmm. And it's all that she learned and all that she discovered. And it's all put in a memoir. Mm-hmm. And she has now committed herself, see if this isn't just classic, to helping other Democrats in the midterm election to raise money and win. See, that's what people who want to run for president 2 years later do. Yeah. Right? You're going to go help these other people. No, I'm not running for governor because I want to help everybody else so that they might ultimately help me.
I didn't even think about it that way.
That's the whole point. Yeah. That's the whole reason. I mean, unless you were a president emeritus, somebody like, Clinton or Bush never did it. Obama did it every now and then to reach out and help these other guys or gals win their elections. Right. Well, she's not an emeritus. I mean, if she's the nominee, practice saying President Vance.
You think so?
Have our first Indian first lady. No, her first Hindu first lady.
Right.
There is no way she's going to win. She shouldn't even run. That's why I hope she does.
You don't think that Democrats will spend so much of these years now being, getting all riled up and getting that, that big ball of steam of anger and, indignation at how the country is being run, and that you don't think that they can get a strong enough ball of fire behind her to take it?
No, I think that they will have a big ball of fire, but there are too many questions about her.
Yeah.
She was part of the cover-up.
Well, that's true.
Of Joe Biden. The whole thing. She never was vetted. She was empowered to be. She was christened to be the next one. And plenty of Democrats, though they won't say it on camera, plenty of Democrats were like, dang, we should have had a primary.
Well, and that you're just saying she would run. There's no guarantee that she would get the nomination, or
right.
Is that what you think? You think there are other people? We talk about Gavin Newsom all the time. Who else would you see as being? Buttigieg, right? Maybe.
I think he has his own problems, but there are plenty of other Democrats whose names we wouldn't immediately be able to identify.
Uh-huh.
I mean, some different places that was like, okay, that could work.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete Buttigieg will not be president either. But
I just meant of all the people who might throw their hat in the ring.
Oh, I think Buttigieg will. And Gavin Newsom had a glowing response. Remember, Gavin Newsom is the current governor of California.
Right.
There are term limits in place in California, so he can't be governor again.
Okay.
So he's going to be out no matter what the next time. The question was, would she be the one that would replace him? Now, if she had, it would preclude, likely, her from running for president. So I think he had every interest in maybe, go girl, go. You go girl. Be governor of California, because it means you're not going to run for president.
Right.
Then it opens the door, maybe he would think, more for me, he would think. But he said, we've been friends for a long time. I cheer her on. I know she is very sincere in what she's doing and blah, blah, blah. But I would love a primary with both of those guys and others. But the truth is, I just like we said with Obama back when he ran, very difficult when you're running against, if I may, just black and white, no pun intended, if you're running against a minority, be a woman or certainly a double or triple minority, very difficult to oppose what they stand for or what they want to do without being thought of as a person. You just hate women.
Yes.
You don't want women.
Yeah.
You don't want a woman of color. You don't want a strong one. You're afraid of strong women. So she's not going to run for governor of California, which I think is fine. Although I wish she would. That would block her out. But this whole thing of the book tour, I'm going to spend time going around the country and listening. By the way, this voice, though not mine, is so much more pleasant than hers. I'm going to go around the country and listen to people and share, what I've learned when I was running, okay, you're going to have to answer 3 or 4 questions, which you won't answer. One is, we'll ask you the question again that was asked of you on The View and see if you would do anything different.
I remember,
Now,
I remember what it was.
That was the killer. That was the killer. Her run for president was over when she couldn't say she would do anything different from what Joe Biden had done.
Right.
She had the opportunity to separate herself. Even behind the scenes, she could go to Joe and say, hey, listen, I had to do it, or I got to do it. They're going to ask me this. They're going to ask me this, and I've got to separate. So it's nothing personal, but I've got to do this. She wasn't prepared. She thought she was going into this place. It was all warm and fuzzy, and what's her name? Joy Behar.
Joy Behar.
Joy
Whoopi
Behar and Whoopi and all the gals, and it's all going to be a little, coffee clatch.
And it was, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it was that, right?
They asked one question.
Yeah.
They asked one substantive question. The only one they asked is the only one anyone remembers because she couldn't answer it. She was ill-prepared.
Totally.
For that one question. So I want her to run. I want her to stay healthy. I want her to do all the things and be ready to run. And the likelihood, if she decides to run, she will announce it after she has helped all these other people win or run
in the
midterms.
It's so long from now. I can't believe I know
it's just
necessary.
Year. It's just a year.
Well, the midterms are, but I mean, before we have another presidential election.
I know, but it goes so fast because really after the midterms, it all goes, it's really downhill. It's a downhill glide on your little banana seat bicycle.
Mm-hmm. I had one of those.
I did too.
It was pink and purple.
So was mine.
It was not. The seat was sort of silver and glittery, and it had training wheels on it for a little while. And then got the training wheels off.
Good for you. Look at you. I've seen you ride that bike. You still ride that bike.
I wish I'd kept that bike. Something very significant will be happening in Texas schools when school starts. I think around here, at least a week from Monday, August 11th is the day. I don't know if that's when all North Texas schools starts. There are usually, there's a little wiggle room on either side of that, but I know many of them start a week from Monday on the 11th. And I don't know how you and I missed this, unless it's just evidence of the fact that we have no kids this age anymore. But do you know what House Bill 1481 is?
No.
Governor Abbott signed the bill into law on June 20th, and it bans cell phones from Texas public schools or open enrollment charter schools.
Really?
No more cell phones. It's not only they can't have smartwatches, and nor can they have tablets.
I get tablets.
Yeah.
I get phones. Smartwatches, I don't get.
You can text with a smartwatch. Yeah. You can read texts. You can send texts. The problem is the attention it takes away from what is supposed to be happening in those schoolrooms. Let me tell you how I even found out about this. I have a friend who teaches high school. Heard him talking about how different this is going to be. Now, I know several school districts. I know Richardson for one of them. They've already been doing these things where you walk into school or walk into a class and they put your phone in a locked bag
or whatever.
So that you can't. It essentially disables it for the time that you're in the class, but then you get it back, and during passing periods and during lunch and things like that, you can still have your phone.
So between classes, you could use your phone, return texts before, return texts, and then once you get in the new classroom, you'd put that again.
Zip it up again.
I got it. Got it.
So this friend of mine was telling me that they had gone back to school for the first day for teachers just a few days ago, and how they're spending a lot of time preparing for this because they also, I think he's in the Garland Independent School District, and they've also had some form of this. I don't know if they had the locked bags or if it was just, we don't want to see your phones during class time anymore. And he talked about what a difference that had made just in his, in his class periods last year. But this now, they really can't. You can have it. It has to be turned off in your backpack. They don't want to see it during the school day. You can't have it out at lunch. You can't have it out in passing periods. I don't know. Who knows if that will mean that there's ever a class with a lenient teacher who says, just take them out. I don't care. But I think the goal of this is to have there be no phone usage from the moment you walk into the school in the morning until the minute you leave in the afternoon. They hope that it will cut down on bullying. They think that a lot of bullying happens during the school day over cell phones. Also, just all of the anxiety that we hear about that spending so much time on the phones contributes to that anxiety.
What about the anxiety that you get by not being able to access your phones?
Well, I'm sure there will be that. I guess they're going to have to figure something else out there. But the thing that I also thought was so interesting was to hear my friend talking about how one of the things they're planning for during these, this week that they're in school before the kids are there is be prepared to have a lot more time in your, during a lot more teaching time than you've had. That the time that the phones, managing the phones and making sure people aren't on their phones or getting into trouble with their phones over time has cut so far into the class time that, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there. And if all of a sudden that's gone and all of a sudden you have an hour again or you have 50 minutes again or whatever the class period is, they're expecting that to be, quite an adjustment.
Fast forward, sadly, I hope it never happens, to the moment where there is an event at a school.
Yeah.
And Uvalde.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And kids don't run to the lockbox or whatever to get their phone out to then call 911. Now, teachers are not precluded from having phones, right?
No, teachers are not precluded from having phones. I think there's still a phone in every classroom,
Is that right?
too. Yeah.
Interesting. Phones are a huge distraction. No question about that. And kids at school, I think it's a good idea. Check them at the door. You get your phone at the end of the day.
Would be probably a logistical nightmare if you've got
I don't mean
2,000 kids
physically
in a school.
I don't mean physically check it. My point is it goes silent at the beginning of the day and nobody's phone. But the thing is, are all the kids, you got, 30 kids in a classroom?
Something like that, probably.
Something like 25, 30 kids. So you had 25 phones up in a cubby at the front of the class, and every one of those kids has silenced their phone.
Well,
what is the chance that you could have, a kid that forgot to silence it, and you got text messages or alerts or news alerts or whatever that are coming through on those phones? It's just that would still be a distraction.
So at this particular school, they're not going to have to check them at the door. Your phone can be on you, but it has to be off and in your backpack.
Okay, all right.
Now, of course, they're going to, the same way. Do you ever hear a phone ringing in church or a phone ringing anywhere? It's not supposed to be.
Yeah,
I think you just deal with that.
Yeah.
And those minor things will be
interesting.
First of all, there'll be things that they learn over time to deal with. And then also small distraction compared to every kid in a class of 30 being distracted by the baby TV and communication device that they have in their hand.
I'm not a teacher. I come from a long line of teachers, but I can't imagine were I a teacher. I would say, look, phones, if I see your phone, I take your phone.
Yeah.
If I see your phone, it's mine. And you can get it at the end of the day. My dad was a school principal, as you know, and there's a fishing knife, pretty long blade, that we have today, a full 55 years after he came into possession of it.
Yeah.
He had a rule as principal, and any different things, you could do different things in the olden times. But he had a rule, if I take up your weaponry, a knife, brass knuckles, for real brass knuckles, whatever. If I take up something from you, you can get it back if you come to me at 4:00, the last day of school. So whatever they didn't get was leftover.
Went home with your dad,
so
if he wanted it.
I had all my years fishing. My sons had all their years fishing. Your boys were there too for some of this. And now my grandson has someday for his fishing this knife that was taken up from a kid in the 1960s. I can't believe a kid had a 5-inch blade knife in elementary school.
Yeah.
But it's thankful, I guess, in some ways, because it's been a good fishing knife.
I do remember the policy when my kids were in school, and I know that you could not, in most classes, you could not have your phone out. I remember having to go back to the junior high once or maybe twice with one of my kids who did get his phone taken from him, and you would have, if you wanted it back, you had to pay $15 at the end of the day to get your phone back. And then I think over time, so many of those rules, you can have it here, but I don't want to see it. Over time, it just got easier to just not fight it. You spent all of your time fighting it, which is exactly the way you don't want something like that to go.
But you fight it because you keep fighting it. If you solve it, you don't have to keep fighting it. You make the payment, not in dollars, make the payment in uncomfortableness so high that it doesn't repeat. And that it becomes a deterrent for other students. I don't want that to happen to me with my phone, so I'm not going to do that.
Maybe that's what this is. Now you can't have them at all.
I think that's good.
Me too.
One of the big stories, of course, right after the podcast, I completed it alone.
I know.
Very lonely. Last time. I mean, immediately after that was the whole thing of the shooting in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, golly. I mean, just tragic. I have a couple of thoughts on that. I know you were elsewhere, but I'm sure you followed what it was.
Mostly.
That it happened. You got a police officer that was shot and killed, 30 some odd years old, two children, one on the way. Last name Islam, Pakistani immigrant. You have lots of elements here that make it good for news. He's an immigrant. His last name is Islam. He's Muslim, I presume, because I saw the funeral today. And so it became a really sort of easy story to tell on the news. And they would say, oh, yeah, these other 4 people also died. So did the shooter also die, they say, by suicide.
Wow.
But it was very brazen, as I'm sure you saw. But a couple of things, just a couple of notes. New Yorkers, it's really interesting to hear New Yorkers talk about what the guy did. And when they're talking about, he double parked his BMW on Park Avenue. The rest of us would say, yeah, what's the rest of the sentence? It's like, they would pause and go like, can you believe that?
Like that was all, if you're a New Yorker, that's all you need to know.
It's like he double parked his car on Park Avenue. I mean, that would be towed like within 2 minutes, which I thought was a weird thing to comment on.
Yeah.
I think they were saying, as I could determine it, they were saying that's one of the ways they believe they knew he wasn't coming back to his car. That he knew that car was going to be gone in seconds. So he walks in with his M4. I'm very familiar with that gun. What he walked in there with. He killed the uniformed police officer working off duty in uniform that I'd mentioned. He killed a security guy that was there. But my thought was, then he, amazingly, when he got on the bank of elevators to go up to the third, he ended up at the 33rd floor, I think. A girl was getting off the elevator. As he was getting on, he let her pass. Just the oddest thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, really? Kind of you tilt your head and furrow your brow and go, really? But my thought was, once he's in the elevator, stop the elevator. He's in a cage. He's stuck.
Wow.
If you stop the elevator between floors, you got the guy.
Right.
I haven't heard a whole lot of talk about this, but maybe that's why he did, if he did, kill all the security people downstairs. Maybe he was thinking that far ahead. I don't know. But that was my first thought was, hey, fantastic. Get him in an elevator. And it's not like he held a gun to somebody's head and said, I'm going up to 33, get me the elevator and put the key code to allow me access to the 33rd floor and then kill the guy. It wasn't that.
Right.
He got on an elevator, and at that moment, he was in a cage.
Yeah.
He was in a jail cell, 7 by 7 feet, 10 feet tall, and had to go 33 floors up. That's a lot of time.
It is.
That you could just lock it down. It didn't happen. Some people say he got on the wrong bank of elevators. He meant to go on a different one. The whole CTE thing, which is really weird, that brain problem, the
concussions.
From many concussions. And he talked about his time in the NFL. He was never in the NFL. Time in college football. He never played college football. He played high school football. And the weirdest thing about that CTE, there's no test for it. You know this? There is no test for CTE.
How do they know you have it?
Autopsy.
Oh, man.
You can't know someone has it until you know they had it.
Wow.
Isn't it the weirdest thing?
Yeah.
Until you basically pull apart the brain and take a look at the brain. But you can't just do a brain scan on it and say that guy has this CTE.
Mm-hmm. So what do they like? Do they suspect it beforehand due to behavior or
they say
other symptoms or circumstances or things like that?
Aggression, things like that. But that could be because of steroids. It could be because of depression. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Too much testosterone, or he's a weightlifting guy and he takes supplements or whatever. I mean, who knows? Yeah. But that weird. You can't know someone has CTE until they're dead.
Tragic.
If you have an autopsy that can show you that, not they have it, but
presence.
that they had it. The other weird thing about this is early on, and I watched this early on when it happened, because like I said, I mean, the podcast, not that you would know, Lauren, you weren't here.
I listened.
I was playing with
I've listened.
You know, I'm just playing with you. As soon as it was over, this thing happened.
Yeah.
Like right after. I was watching the whole thing. Early on, you know, one of the first things that the news people said?
What?
That the guy who was the shooter might be white.
They said it that way?
Yes. A shooter has entered and he might be white. I thought, what a bizarre thing to say.
Much.
Especially about a guy who turned out to be black.
Uh-huh.
It's not like he was missing. He was dead, right?
Yeah.
He was already dead. He had killed himself. So it's not like we were searching for someone and we needed to
a
know.
Description.
Yeah. We didn't need to know that he was black or white or Hispanic or Asian or anything. But they were so quick to say he might be white. I thought, good Lord, what a weird thing.
Yeah. I do think still, and this is not an excuse for that, but still, after so many of these things happen, not just shootings, but emergencies where you put people, news readers, news anchors in the position of having to just fill time. All of a sudden you're live and you're off script and you don't really know what the details are and people are feeding you things in your ear and you're probably getting other things on a teleprompter or things handed to you. Just the weird things that come out of people's mouths when they don't have a script and when details are fuzzy.
You know, I thought it was weird, and then I got a text fed to me. Charlie Kirk, who we know, Charlie Kirk had said, "Is this weird?" and had said the same thing
about the comment about he might be white.
Yeah,
huh?
So it wasn't just me.
Oh, yeah.
It was noted widely that how odd that is.
Yeah.
The other story, I think, probably is the potential tsunami, the big 8.8 earthquake, which, by the way, is like the 7th largest earthquake, like of all the earthquakes.
Wow.
It's 7th in line for the throne of earthquakes and the whole tsunami thing. And I knew, I really knew, that at some point in my life, and here I'm at 63, at some point in my life, having played the board game Risk would come into play. Because when they said, oh, it was the eastern region of Russia, and I said, Kamchatka. And it was Kamchatka. It was the Kamchatka region of Russia.
Who knew?
And of course, I was,
you did. I know.
Was highly confident early on as a young lad that playing this game would at some point, just thankful I lived long enough to hold my finger in the air and say, Kamchatka.
Did anybody hear you?
No. So the tsunami, they didn't happen, but we got all the reminders of how a tsunami happens and how the water, pulls away from the shore and then, it goes way back over and all that. It is fascinating just from a scientific standpoint about how that happens. And several things have to take place for a tsunami to occur. An earthquake has to happen in the ocean, has to happen in a certain way that lifts, I don't know, whatever it is, like a plate or something. It lifts something and then shoves some water like out that way. And it goes out there that way for like at 500 miles an hour, which is like as fast as it's not like as fast as a plane. It is as fast as a plane. And it didn't result in anything bad. But there was a warning, a watch, an advisory. Those are different categories, like a tornado watch, whatever. And even with the West Coast, the whole West Coast, all of Oregon, Washington State, of course, Alaska, Hawaii. And it turned out to be, I think some people had problems, but wasn't huge. Mm-hmm. Oh, it is time for Scattershoot.
Let's go.
Here you go, Andy. The Wilder Show Scattershoot. It really is, Lauren, and thank you for the whole idea. And also to Blackie. Yeah. And thank you, Blackie Sherrod, for the actual name Scattershoot. Mm-hmm. But one of my favorite
Little
times.
Did he know.
Yeah. Look at what he hath wrought. Blackie Sherrod. So thank you, the ghost of Blackie Sherrod, who is here with us in every Scattershoot. But it's really one of my favorite times of the week, the Wilder Show Scattershoot.
Do you know who Sydney Sweeny is?
She is an actress with brown hair.
She is an actress. Yes, she is an actress. She's been around for a little while. I think the first thing I saw her in was Handmaid's Tale.
Was she in that?
She was in Handmaid's Tale.
Well, who was she
briefly?
There?
She was.
I watched all that.
Yeah, I don't remember what her name was, but she was. Okay, so
she one of the girls.
June. Yeah, she's one of the girls. You didn't see very much of her in it. I mean, she was.
Really?
You saw her face, and that's it. So I can't remember everybody's name, but there was the guy who worked for June's boss.
Okay,
who June kind of fell in love with and had a relationship with, and they had a baby. And then Sydney Sweeny was brought in later to be his very young wife.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. But she wasn't the one with the eye patch.
She was not the one with the eye patch.
She was the other one. One of the other ones.
She was one of the other ones, and she didn't last. I mean, the one with the eye patch was in it. I've not seen it. I stopped watching maybe in the middle of the last season. And haven't seen a lot since then. But the girl with the eye patch has been in it for a long time.
That's right.
And Sydney Sweeny, I think, was maybe part of one season.
All right.
But she's been in other things too. She's been in movies, and she's very popular, and the guys love her and girls love her, and she was in a really a brand new campaign for American Eagle.
Oh, I did see this. Go ahead.
I don't shop at American Eagle. American Eagle was a very popular place though when my kids were growing up. That was back to school central. And I guess it still is. There's a campaign that Sydney Sweeny is the face of, and they're in a lot of trouble, and people are kind of blaming it a little bit on Sydney Sweeny. Her name comes up in all of this. I'm certain she didn't write the copy.
No,
she didn't come up with the idea.
No, it's not her idea.
It's not even, frankly, that original. It's just her in a fully denim outfit, denim shirt, and blue jeans, and it says Sydney Sweeny has great jeans. It's Jeans.
Yeah, sure. Play on words. I like it.
It's
funny.
It's
clever.
funny. Yeah.
It's clever.
And
it's no big deal.
Yeah.
What is the problem?
Well, people are upset because they're going instantly to eugenics.
Oh, good grief.
And
all of a sudden it's Hitler And how can you have a blonde, blue-eyed white girl talk about genes? So it's either eugenics, sort of a Hitler, or we're talking about it's offensive to black people, or it's all about white. How about this? When I hear her say she has great genes, I think about a skinny girl.
Well, there's that too.
That's also part of the genes.
So
give me a break.
In one of the videos, she says, this is Sydney Sweeny saying, genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color.
Okay.
And she says, my genes are blue. Says the genes then doing double duty as the camera pans across her blue denim outfit and her blue eyes.
Okay.
So people are upset about the objectification, but listen, if you know anything about Sydney Sweeny, we've seen her in far less clothing than this.
That is a whole separate thing.
Yeah.
So you got 10 different things you can pick from to be outraged by.
Right.
One is, it's objectifying a girl. It's a pretty girl who's skinny, who is in a commercial about jeans. She's making a ton of money. She's happy to do it. Why is anybody upset by it?
Well, here's another reason they're upset.
Good Lord.
The critics say that the use of Sweeny as the archetype of good genes, Genes
right.
now, and I don't think they're even saying that.
They're not.
She has good genes. I mean, you could say that about a lot of people. It has nothing to do with how they look, or I mean, it can mean so many different things.
I mean, Kobe Bryant had good genes. Carl Lewis had good genes.
But because Sydney Sweeny is a conventionally attractive, white, thin, blonde woman with blue eyes, she's being held up as the beauty ideal. But not only is the beauty ideal, but as the pinnacle of good breeding, bordering on eugenic thinking.
Whatever.
Contributing to the glorification of whiteness.
Whatever.
I'm mostly paraphrasing, but that you get the message.
If that's the deal, then I celebrate the glorification. I don't think it matters. That is a bunch of thumb-sucking nonsense.
I don't think we even have to say we celebrate any glorification. I mean, first you have to say that the glorification is there.
That's why I said if. If that's what it is, then I celebrate it. I don't believe it is what it is.
No.
It's a clever campaign that gets everybody talking. And guess what? They're going to sell more jeans. And guess what?
Well, that's true.
Their stock went up. I don't know if you saw that. Their stock went up right after this little controversy began. It's called advertising.
Right.
It's called marketing. It's not a big deal. All these people finding every reason to be offended. It's like that old comic strip I saw one time. This guy was holding a sign about how offended he was for this and how offended he was for that and how offended he was for this. And the final panel, the olden times of a comic strip, the fourth panel of 4 panels had the person sitting next to him on the bench saying, "I'm offended by your offense sensitivity." It's just silly. Every female athlete must have a cheek swab to confirm that they are a girl.
Where is this happening?
Before they can compete at the World Athletics Championships. World Athletics, which is the governing body of track and field, has now confirmed, last couple of days, that athletes must pass the gene test to compete in women's events before the global meet in September.
Wow. This
is all, remember the boxer, the big controversy in the Olympics? Was the boxer a boy or a girl? And blah, 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 blah. Gene testing girls to make sure they are girls if they're going to play in girls' sports. This is the kind of thing we talked about. That alone does not kill women's sports, but they're not gene testing boys to make sure they are boys. We don't have a bunch of girls pretending to be boys or wanting to be boys or saying they're boys to compete against boys in swimming, in track and field, in weightlifting. I wonder why that is. You think it might be because it's easier for men to compete against women and win? than it is for women to compete against men and win?
Well, it is true, but I don't know that I don't, it would be hard for me to believe that there are men, trans women, trying to compete against women only because they want to win. That they would be, I can't imagine that there is a man who would want to, or a bunch of men who would be willing to give up who they are, their masculinity, only to compete in a sport so that they would have a better chance of winning against women.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I obviously I have no idea. I don't think that's the primary objective.
I don't think so either.
But the other thing is, what is that commitment level before you can compete in girls' sports?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, do you have to have surgical removals? Or can you just say, yeah, no, it's just I'm on the inside. I'm a girl. And I identify as a girl, and so I want to, I'm going to go to the girls' locker room, and I'm going to go to the girls' restroom, and I'm going to compete against girls because right now I'm a girl.
No, of course not.
But I'm saying we know that there are people that are competing.
We do.
I was not gone through that. So I'm just saying, I agree with you.
I would, yeah.
I'm not saying, hey, I'm going to win more sports by pretending to be a girl.
Right.
I'm not saying that at all. My point is, I find it more than interesting that we don't have a gene test for all male athletes to make sure they are not female. We have a gene test to make sure that all the athletes are female and none are male competing against female.
You mean for any other reasons except that it's not fair?
Why is it not fair, though? I mean, why would
we just laid out all of those reasons?
But, so you're saying they wouldn't have a gene test because the girls who would pretend to be boys would automatically lose?
I don't know that they'd automatically lose. They might automatically lose, but I don't think that they have an unfair advantage. It would be hard to ever say that there would be a biological female who would have an advantage competing against men.
I don't think the problem, at least my problem, I don't have a problem because men are biologically superior to women, and therefore women have a disadvantage, and it is unfair then to women. That's not my objection.
I think that's most people's objections.
I'm just telling you mine. My objection is you're not a woman. I don't care whether it means you would lose every time you play or would win every time you play. You shouldn't be playing. You're not a woman. This is women's sports, and you're a man. This is men's sports, and you're a woman. Has nothing to do with whether they were more likely to win or more likely to lose. As far as I'm concerned, it's about whether they should even be competing. If you're competing, you are taking the place of someone else who might be competing. And maybe you will lose, and maybe they would lose too, but they should have the right to compete. And you, because you shouldn't even be competing because you're a man, not a woman, you are taking their place. That is their place.
I understand what you're saying. I just don't think that is I don't know that that's the reasoning behind all of the
the outrage
the testing is because
the outrage is because women are likely to lose to men. Men physically, in most cases, are superior, all things being equal, to women.
Stronger,
so superior in the task before them to women. Running, lifting weights,
stronger,
swimming,
faster,
whatever. But for me, that's not even the issue.
I know.
The issue is that we'll let all the men in as long as they don't always win. As long as they're mediocre men, as long as men compete with women's sports or in women's sports and they are sort of middle of the pack women strength in their ability, then it's okay. No, has nothing to do with that. They shouldn't be taking this place of any woman who should be participating in women's sports because they're not women for no other reason.
Were you a Murder, She Wrote fan?
Murder, She Wrote in my mind it's sort of a girl Matlock.
Man, it was on a long time.
Not a girl Matlock like the girl Matlock that is currently the girl Matlock.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
She's cleaning up with that.
I heard she's doing great.
I saw a couple episodes on an airplane, but it was good.
Yeah, it's okay.
It was good.
But it's that same sort of feel to me, Matlock and Jessica, whatever her name is. What's her name?
Jessica Fletcher.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine
What's
that
her
I
real
even
name,
know. Her real name was Angela Lansbury.
That's right. I love Angela Lansbury. She was the teacup?
She was Mrs. Potts.
The Mrs. Potts.
Her son, Chip.
That's right.
Was the
Chip.
teacup.
Got it.
She
Chip.
was Mrs. Potts.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved her. I think I captured a screenshot one time.
Oh, I know. It was Murder, She Wrote.
It was a Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
Where it was her and it was, what's his name?
So it was Mrs. Potts and it was Lumiere.
Lumiere.
Yes.
Well,
or
Lenny, what's his real
Lenny.
name? Lenny from Law and Order.
It was Jerry Orbach.
Jerry Orbach. Because he was a big Broadway person.
Most
people don't know that. He was a huge Broadway guy. But I thought it was funny to have an episode. I think I sent it to you. It was Murder, She Wrote. It was an episode that had Angela Lansbury, Mrs. Potts, and Jerry Orbach, Lumiere. They were the voices of the Disney Beauty and the Beast.
That's right. And of those two characters in Beauty and the Beast. And I think that episode of Murder, She Wrote was maybe right around the same time that Beauty and the Beast was
right?
out, which gave it an even extra layer of, you know, if we'd had hashtags back then, we would have said, you know, if you know, you know. What do you know what that is?
Right.
What is it? I don't even know.
YK.
Look at you. Yeah, we would have said something like that.
I dragged you down a rabbit hole.
That's okay.
There, but you're talking about Murder, She Wrote. 12
seasons from 1984 to 1996.
Interesting.
Based, it was, you know, Murder, She Wrote. It was based on Jessica Fletcher. She was embroiled in various murder cases that took place in the town where she lived. It was the fictional town of Cabot Cove, Maine, but also other, you know, various locations around the globe. But wherever she was, somebody always got killed. It was not safe to be around her.
If she enters your town, leave,
run fast. So, long-running drama averaged 30 million viewers per week at the height of its popularity,
and
it's getting a reboot.
Really,
it's getting a reboot, and guess who's going to be in the starring role?
Is it a girl?
It is a girl. It's a girl. It's a famous girl who she's never really gone away, but she is enjoying a little bit of a renaissance right now. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Love her.
Jamie Lee Curtis, who has been in a couple of episodes of The Bear. And if she hasn't, she's at least been nominated for Emmys. She won an Academy Award for Everything Everywhere All at Once a couple of years ago. She she's going to be in a James L. Brooks movie coming out soon. She's got Freakier Friday coming out, family favorite of my family, Freaky Friday, from a couple of decades ago, and now she's going to be Jessica Fletcher in the reboot of.
That's great.
It's an update. It's an update of the series. Yeah,
and of course she's married to Christopher Guest.
She is.
Christopher Guest is one of my favorite silly,
brilliant guy.
When you watch all those things. Like
Best in Show, Spinal Tap,
of course. He was also in, what was the folk singer thing he was in?
A Mighty Wind.
I mean, all those were so good.
Yeah,
and he had that what's a bloodhound? What's it called? Blood dog.
A coonhound. Doesn't he have a coonhound?
And he's
one of his whole long things is about the
counties,
the different kinds of
counties. Oh my gosh, he is so funny, Christopher Guest. And they're married. They've been married for a long time. Yeah,
I mean, I bet they're pushing 40 years.
Oh, I think so. Well, so when is this coming out, and where can I find it? Because unlike most stuff that is on that I don't really have an interest in, I would actually watch her as Murder, She Wrote.
If I remember correctly, it was a CBS. Yeah, it was a CBS series at the time. I don't know if we have. I don't know if they even have a. Yeah. the NBC was planning a reboot of the series more than a decade ago.
Really?
In October of 2013. And then they said, by 2014, it had fizzled out. But it's going forward now. But I don't see here any details about when or who will carry it.
Okay. We'll come back to this space, and we will have that information for you.
We'll keep you posted.
In a future column. That is the Wilder Show podcast. I was with some guys the other day, and out of the blue, one of the guys said, it's time for a scatter shoot. And he and another guy at the same time said, let's go. I thought that is so weird.
It's my line.
It was like you were there. The Wilder Show podcast, find us on Instagram. You'll search Wilder Show Pod, and then you'll like it and all that. If you want to send us an email, it's podcast@wildershow.com. The Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time or before, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. So like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. It's so much better, Lauren, when you're here.
Thank you. I always think, every time you say wherever you get your podcasts, I think wherever you get your fine podcasts.
Okay.
And this one is there too.
Wait a minute. I don't know how to take that exactly. Wherever you get your fine podcasts.
We're scrappy.
But also, we're there too. And we'll see you next time. Da 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 da